未来洗联储还有 HDO 洗币会别人抢着来成为国家流通的货币。接下来被国家认可、主权认可、主权流通，甚至大的这招地控制的金融集团流通，它是一定会发生的。
Good morning, good evening. Welcome to episode 66 of Crypto News Talk. My name is Bindi, and I have my two guests here, True007 and Lily. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is True007. Welcome to our program. Very happy to see you guys all here. Take down the CCP. Back to you, Lily.
Hello. Thanks for joining us today. And today we are into our episode 66, I think. And we are going to look at FTX refund. Over to you.
Okay, Flower, if we can have our slide number one. Slide number one, we actually going to talk about FTX. You know, FTX has made waves not a little while ago, where the fraudster SBF has squandered a lot of money, and but this time round, FTX customers may be getting a refund by the middle of 2024, 9 billion. Is this going to be the case? We shall see. Next slide, Flower. If we can revisit who FTX was or is. So this is a former crypto exchange and hedge fund, and it actually became the third largest crypto exchange by 2021. Now, it was founded by SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, and Gary Wang, two fraudsters. Now, you know, anything that is, I guess, I'm not, I can't say for sure. Anything that is actually established in a tax haven usually is a little bit suspicious. In this case, they were incorporated in Antigua and Barbuda, headquarters in Bahamas. Now, next slide, Flower. You know, when you see this face, you understand who he is. He is the biggest fraudster in the entire human history. Bernie Madoff. Can you believe it? He was actually the former chairman of Nasdaq Stock Exchange. Now, what was his legacy? The legacy that he left behind was that he actually orchestrated the largest Ponzi scheme, 64.8 billion of which. Next slide. We're going to go straight to our discussion question here. Now, 2024 is a date that many people will look forward to. And of course, these people are FTX customers. I want to ask True007. True007, do you think this is are they looking at, do you think that 90% of their, you'll be able to retrieve about 90% of their lost money? True007.
Okay, if you look at what they're going to do with this return of the money, and they're done very politically, of course, you know, from different creditors, and there's in United States, outside United States, and other close associated with them. However, the deal is that we're going to pay you if you only lost 250,000 or below. And then, of course, I think the 90% of the investors are in that small fish category. Okay, so in other words, 10% of people, okay, 90% of people maybe own only 10% of the investment, okay, or 82. So in other words, it could be 20% of the investment either returned or invested by 80% of the people who with the FTX cases. So in that case, it's not too hard to say if you are below 250, as they do, you get full refund or full return. In other words, we're going to get the money and you get full repayment. But those people who above, okay, 250, and then you get something, okay, $250,000, then you will get something like a 15% discount. In other words, 15% of your money need to be cut, and the administrator, SEC, need to take the money. It's like recently they have trying to retain the money of the GDV investors, which, mind you, no one person complained is a fraud. Where Sam Bankman's case, FTX cases, it's all of them. They are like a special interest group and fraud group. Everyone is suing Bankman Fried. Okay, they got evidence the money has been laundered and then has been misappropriated into other different funds rather than keep that as a fund specifically 100% backed by stable coin, which is not. So that's why you have. But anyone after that, this is the promise, okay, that you're going to get your money by the end of second quarter next year. My question is that, okay, what about the rest of the guys who invest more than $250,000, $250,000? Are they going to get anything? Nothing has said yet. So what we guess, it's you only have, for example, you get $100, and now half of that is lost. You give it to someone else, okay, give it to Amanda, give it to this and that, and you just transfer it out the stable coins backup reserve, and then you got $50 to pay everyone. Among them, 90% of them actually only probably invest 20%. So if you got $20, you can pay that small fish, but it's 90% people. Very influential. They make a big noise, right? Not good. So you can pay them. But then the other 80% of the money and the big money, we're going to what? We're going to not very sure how we're going to pay for it. But maybe we talk about that because they say after that, the next year, in the middle of next year, maybe the war started. What happens? All the investment funds will be halved or even halved. So if you are the FTX investor, given these disasters brought by the CCP and the war and against the East and Middle East and the United States, you could be benefit from it because the money confiscated now by SEC it should be safe. Then it will be returned to you, even it's only half. Say, for example, Zhao Changpeng invested $500 million. He might get half of it, or someone else, other fund, maybe BlackRock, invest that much, you get half of it. But then your original investment in another fund, maybe you get nothing left. Okay, it could be. So it could be. So the likelihood of you getting half the money, if you're a big fish, it's higher. Okay, and that value is still could be higher than if when we see the Great Depression come, the collapse of the whole entire stock market, the derivatives and the foreign exchanges and so on. So it could be a really big disaster for you. So we need to watch and see what's going to do with the big investors. Back to you, Billy. Hello.
That's good. Now we have Lily. Lily, please can you add in what you have to? What are your other thoughts about getting 90%? Will you, if you were one of the FTX account holders, would you be holding your breath for the 90% money that is expected to be returned?
Well, for the desperate, of course, they will hold on to every word. But I think looking at all the refund cases in a fraud scheme, it's obvious that any refund is an arduous process. I highly suspect that it could be a play of words here, because everybody would just focus on the 90% refund. Okay, 90% of your fund will be refunded. So I won't be surprised that at this time, when the financial market is unstable because of the war and the situation in China with the defraud of collapse of property market, whether this is just to stabilize people's sentiment. I totally agree with what 007 has said. Until the money is in the bag, until the money is back in the account, nothing nothing can be taken seriously. All these promises are futuristic. Anything can change from now till second quarter of next year. So I will take this article as a pinch of salt.
It's just like what True 007 said, like with GTV investors, the investment fund were frozen by SEC on their own accord with no charges, nothing. They can't prove fraud or anything else. It's just a political motive behind the confiscation or the freezing of account. Even with the rate of refund that is right now undergoing, it will take probably 75 years for all the accounts, all the money confiscated or frozen to be released to the original investors. So, that's why this is like what Lily said, playing of words. It could be, this is just holding people's hopes up, especially the small fries, the small fish. Don't hold your breath. You may run out of breath by then. Now we're going to look at the second discussion question we have. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff made history when he defrauded the world with 64.8 billion. He still holds the highest record, and this is money as of how many decades ago? When he defrauded the investors to this tune. So he has, of course, a modus operandi, and he's mostly centered on asset management business. Of course, at that time, there was no blockchain. So people who think that by participating in asset management scheme, your money is safer than investing yourself, well, they were proven wrong, and Bernie Madoff proved them wrong. I want to ask True 007, what can we learn from Bernie Madoff incident here?
Okay, well, he was the chairman of the Nasdaq stock exchange. I mean, in other words, he is the number one well-known man in any investment. Okay, because if you are the chairman, means you know every tricks, every crimes committed, and then how to do it properly without other people find. And it's proving exactly what he did. Take advantage of the situation. Old Bernie Madoff. Okay, so that's what happened. So the lesson one you learned, you never trust anyone with your money, as Moscow said. Okay, if they are not proven of themselves, proven of like a Jesus Christ or like a Buddha. Okay, so unless they're proven noble quality,
no one can match Jesus or Buddha in this world.
That's what we're trying to be. At least you got to have truly believe and so on. I mean, that's number one. Number two, that's what you've proven. Really, don't give your money to someone else's unless you're absolutely certain that. And he obviously take advantage of the situation Bernie Madoff by what? By using this Ponzi scheme. So what's really Ponzi scheme in mathematics and metrics system, or they call them investment metrics or econometrics. It's one of the very famous economists and mathematician, okay, in Russia. Okay, he actually won a Nobel Prize on it. So you can use your time delay, okay, to make your money grow or not grow. Okay, so this process of the time delayed process is actually a magic process. During the timing, and you can have, say for example, let's put it on like 100 years. Okay, first year, every year you get 100 million investors come in. Okay, and the second year get another $100 million dollars your investment come in. with another group of people, then you're just going like that. Well, once you have enough time stretched every year by year, then you can use the last investor's money to pay off the interest of the first year. Say start from the 11th years, right? So every money comes, you can just off. And given that you're not going to be stupid enough just to keep it in the cash, okay? So you're going to also invest a little bit. So there is a proportion where once it's large enough, as long as the more money flow in, you'll be fine. That's called a Ponzi scheme. But if there is a bad news to say, oh, this guy is a fraud, you know what happened? Everyone will go there, want money, and then you find it's like Warren Buffett said, only when the tide comes down, okay, then we know who is naked, okay, who doesn't even wear bikinis. Well, this is what exactly. When the prices go down and the assets shrink, which everyone can see, okay, every sector is going down like we're going to see soon, or the economic crisis. Yeah. So-called Ponzi scheme, okay? So put it this way, there's another Nobel Prize winner write a book called the zero-sum game. Zero-sum game means what? In every economy, everything, whether you are, in the end of the day, if there is a loser, there is a winner. So the money never really go away, remember? Only just change hands by proportion. So, of course, as long as the central bank doesn't pull the money off and dump it away, okay? Well, why wouldn't they do it? It's a private, especially in the United States, in the Federal Reserve, it's owned by 22 groups, families, and then the interest is the revenue. Well, how much it is? Think about 1%. If you issued $100 trillion, then 1% a year, you have $1 trillion revenue divided by 22. Okay, evenly. I mean, the kind of money you have, you don't want to see it anymore. It's like you eat too much youtiao and you never want to eat anymore, for example, okay? For example, okay? But of course, someone always like a youtiao. Never. Oh, that is the game, okay? And then what you learn from it? So the second thing is it's a zero-up sum. So there's a creditor, there's a debt, okay? That add together, it's accounting equal to zero. So what you should do, you should be one who are increasing in your credit. Okay, of course you need to spend some money. Otherwise, if everyone only taking the credit and ours is debit, then the whole economy is dead too. So there's a taking and giving that game. So this is absolutely rational in terms of how you run your life in businesses. So what Miles Gore have done, we learned, we trust him, is he always give credit to others. Okay, I mean, then where does his money come from? This is a magic about it. If you do good things, you are very generous to others, you actually gonna give also credit by others. Okay, in the time is right, the people trust you, then you as a person have more credit than anyone that really have money. You see, not many people are liking that. In business, people say business is business, but no. I think Miles Gore changed the whole scenario. He used his wisdom and his own personal credit, which is all virtue and goodness together, and then inverted that into all his believers, or in other words, whistleblowers and CCP terminators. And if you read recently what Zheng Qing was talking about, and you know Miles Gore's old videos, it's really astonishing and it's incredible, okay, unbelievable how he can talk about these things in the future. I mean, not to mention recently warnings about not to step into Hamas's landmine, okay, cross the Gaza, and so saved a lot of Israel ground soldiers' lives. And now world is taking credit. UK's information minister said,
let's
we
come
got
back
information
to crypto.
M60.
Let's come back to crypto. Okay.
Yep.
I'll just ask Lily.
That's
Lily,
right.
can we have your comments, please?
Thank you.
Okay, so actually, with the recovery of money Madoff's victims, the funds of for Madoff's victims has been progressing over 15 years and is still not fully recovered. So over to you, Lily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, for so many years. In fact, it has been 14 years since this fraud case was exposed, and yet only about 30% of the fund has been recovered. That is according to the stat that come past in 2022. In fact, Warren Buffett's famous quote that when the tides come out, when the tides goes out, you know who has been swimming naked, is famously referred to this Bernie Madoff case because the fraud was so big, in such a big scale. At the same time, what contributed to this this fraud? I wonder that being chair of the stock exchange, can he? Why is he allowed to run his broker business and the asset management business? I just wonder whether is there a conflict of interest? Obviously, at the same time, during that period, leading to that period, there was very cheap credit in the financial market. So that could be another reason why. Of course, you know, his scheme, he was able to operate until the financial crisis in 2008. So, of course, the balloon cannot go any bigger. So it has to explode and come crumbling down. It's the same with Binance. Binance, it was once the third largest sort of crypto exchange. It's only went through the efforts of whistleblower movement and Mouse Squad, who repeatedly warned that Binance is the time bomb, one of the time bomb that CCP has planted in the Western financial system, that it been investigated and come tumbling down. So we are just seeing a repeated case of that. Of course, all credit to Mouse Squad and the whistleblowers that reveal all this information to the world. Back to you.
Yeah, I you know, having seen how fraudsters are like, that shows us how different Himalaya Exchange is. So we want to have a discussion on Himalaya Exchange, how different Himalaya Exchange is from FTX. Over to you, 2007.
So all right, the difference is obviously huge. Number one, credibility. Okay, Miles Score never taken 1 cent out of any of us. Okay, you know, we know that because we investment started only 2020, but his whistleblower movement started, 5 years before that. Okay, before we know him personally. Joined the whistleblowers movement, but before that, we were already watching him and spread the information in the social media, YouTube especially. So, and we know that he's always well dressed. The way he talks, no different than any other Chinaman on the main media. Okay, he talks But now we know after 6-7 years, what have he said when we dig out all the old videos? Okay, from GTV and from GETTR, and now whatever said, it's actually happening. So as if he's a prophet, he can predict what happens in the future. But he said, no, I just have the intel. Okay, in other words, I prepared 30 years. I got all the information. Okay? So he knows. From his success of business like Pangu and Zhongyuan Foso, the big, hotels for the Olympics and so on, business dealings, he is the one who have made so much money for his associated funds. In other words, he doesn't own anything. So, and because he didn't need any money from us, So all the money, the difference is that our money has been illegally confiscated due to weaponized DOJ and SEC. Okay, they're working for CCPs. Okay, and FBI as well, maybe. But this is what happens. Sam Bankman's cases. Okay, there are millions of people, 100,000 people actually sued him because they lost the money. Miles Gore's cases, no single money he's taken. Only SEC confiscate our money and still does us. There's no one complain about it. Okay, there's no proving someone get frauded and someone lose any sense. Okay, and we are all invested. We benefit. Okay, but we don't. He didn't take any of the money. So can you see that? When I see that happens, when a legal system, a social justice system, doesn't proven standing for evil and good and black and white, mixed white, at daytime as midnight, that's something wrong with it. We know that the rule of law in American is so great that everyone was looking for in the whole world. But why this instance happens? There's only one reason. There must be a cause. So that means that the Satans have eroded, okay, have penetrated into or called weaponized, the new words, okay, weaponized the SEC and DOJ and trying to, demonize Miles Gore and us. But that, the world will find the truth. We know the truth is here. We'll find justice ourselves. So the big difference is we never felt we want to invest the money, and all our investors, brothers and sisters, we are the warranty workers to terminate the CCP. That's our organization. If you don't like taking down the CCP, but please, you don't have to do anything but return the money back. They got the scheme to return back. You know how much we lost? 8.75%. If you invest $1 million, then you lost $85,750. Where the money is gone, okay? The SEC want that the handling money. They're criminals, mate. Why they handle what? They're public office agency paid by taxpayers. Why they confiscate our, scoping our money away? We lost the money. So they are the ones who are big fraudsters. We should hold them accountable, return us our money. Our business was very good. So many people in, and the value was growing, and suddenly we lost that platform, okay, of terminated CCP. So we suffered so much. I think future is going to give us an answer, okay? And those people who've been Americans sold out, okay, the freedom world sold out should be held accountable one day.
Okay, Lily, can you just point out a few features in Himalaya Exchange that is so different from FTX?
Well, first of all, Himalaya Exchange reserve are back cash 1-to-1. That is unlikely for other exchanges because they will swap the fiat that they've collected from investor for other bills of exchange. And at the same time, we have the blockchain technology, military-grade cutting-edge military technology. We have the stablecoin. We have the payment system. We have stringent audit system. Yep.
So yeah, this is where the difference is. Anybody can come up with a stable coin, but is it truly backed by an asset, a credible asset? In our case, HDO is US dollar backed stablecoin 1-to-1. It's 1-to-1. It is not a case of 90% to 1, not a case of 70% to 1, and everything else is just, and not only that, it is also gold backed. How many crypto stable coin is actually gold backed? Are they really there? Is the gold really there? So because we actually allow or audit, this will actually, even if the tides go down, that is when the world will discover that Himalaya Exchange is the only one, last man standing. So we're going to move on to Miles Gore's video very quickly.
第二大加密货币交易所的 FTX 在遭遇流动性危机4天后申请破产。 这个事儿是错的啊，它不是遭遇流通性的危机，是它挪用了所有的客户的资金账号。当你去提钱的时候，当然就没了。它不是遭遇，它是自己本身偷盗、挪用、非法占用客户资金。贝莱德、软银、加拿大教育基金等损失惨重，这将引发全球数字货币的恐慌。请问七哥，中共是否开启了金融战中的数字货币战争？肯定赵长鹏是参与这个事儿的。赵长鹏的死敌就是 FTX。FTX 是币安完美的和共产党设计了一个套，本身 FTX 就是有问题的，它过去就很多问题，这一次就让人家给设计了。苍蝇不叮无分的蛋，苍蝇和蛋这回都完蛋了。数字货币战争还不会，他现在搞的是叫数字货币恐惧，让全球的政府都去监管数字货币，和共产党一样，把中心化的数字货币和去中心化的数字货币，还让你所有全球都变成政府垄断的中心化数字货币。然后各国央行都要想办法发行自己的数字货币，然后想代替、想竞争，甚至立各种恶法，不让你使用数字货币，禁止你交易数字货币，都会失败。在未来2-3年会无数次这样，就是数字货币是过街的老鼠，人人喊打，但它最终玩不成，因为它改变不了区块链时代的到来。但是数字货币交易所上来以后，在交易所扮演的作用当中成了诈骗，因为它是中介方，交易所不一定有币，有币的不一定有交易所，但交易所成了诈骗方。为什么？开户买币的人，他却把它变成了一个挪用资金、诈骗资金的手段，所以全人类都需要监管、审计所有交易所。最终我要告诉大家，数字货币特别是洗币是不需要交易所的，会把交易所全部废掉。那未来的数字货币它必须具备4个条件，或者紧急的需要3个条件。第一个条件，所有在交易所开户的人，我怎么相信你交易所？你说啥我都不会相信你，因为你既有让我开户的权利，你还有动用我资金的权利，那就不安全。那未来这个模式是最重要的，就是未来所有的全人类的数字货币交易所的法币资金必须有一个强大的超过交易所的国家主权监管的信用机构作为信托方才可以。第二条，审计，就未来是区块链的审计，网上的自发的，就是客户都是审计员，我都可以审计你的每个业务，任何政府都没有借口说你这个审计有问题。就是未来的数字货币交易所的审计，它的审计最后的法定不是所谓的4大，就是通过技术审计、区块链审计。
放了中文。
So the biggest reason for why FTX collapsed through 007, I give you the easier question. Why the FTX?
Yeah.
What was this weakness?
It's too easy. Okay. You remember Sam Bankman took the money from the exchange, then transferred 1 billion to Amanda, which is a crypto research institute. So that money is, it belongs to the exchange, belongs to the people. You and me were investors transferred in. So that money was misappropriated. And then there are other transfers as well. So in other words, the stable coin is not stable. And that's number one. And also, they have stolen the money, customer money, to it. That's why Moscow said, whatever, we were never going to trust an exchange. So the money has to be audited, has to be third party held. Okay. And then the stable coin money, apart from a percentage, been transferred out cash to interesting parties related. There are also other large proportion they have used to buy bought bitcoins, and when the price is high, that's fine. With the Bitcoin gone halved, so if you put another 10 billion net, then you're gonna have only 5 billion left. So these two together, really, what are you gonna do? So you're nothing, but you have lost, the money of the investors by what? By illegally transfer the money, also by actually not stick on the definition of stable coin, which is 100% the asset, the cashback, or government, maybe bonds, something like that. Even that is not unstable, I think. So I think this is where our challenge already had the answer for us, and we are already doing that, the Himalaya exchange. So there's no loss of money at all. Back to you.
Yeah, misappropriation of funds. Typically, that's what happens a lot of times. White collar crimes, misappropriation of funds. Lily, just in a very succinct manner, can you just tell us, with what Miles Gore said, what is the intention behind Zhao Changpeng in this the whole scheme of FTX, bringing its downfall?
The intention of Zhao Changpeng is obviously he's CCP's white gloves in the financial system of the West. Like he is the white glove that has been planted by the CCP to create havoc and the downfall of financial system in the West. So that just says a lot. And at the same time, like FTX collapse is because of misappropriation of fund by the people, by the management, for bribing the political system in the US. They are one of Democrats' biggest donors in the past election. It's not for true creation of wealth. Himalaya Exchange is created for the true creation of wealth and store of value here, which is very different from the motive of FTX and Binance.
Yeah, by creating, CCP creating a lot of fear in the crypto market, that is a way of them wanting to forge ahead with what they have put forward, so that people will fear crypto so much that maybe they will want to use digital renminbi. Let's see. Thank you very much. But before we part, we want to remind ourselves the program time, Flower, if we can have just, the program time. It is actually at 12 o'clock in Sydney time on Monday. But as far as Beijing time zone is concerned, it's still 9 a.m. on Monday. And if you are over in New York area, it's 9 p.m. on Sunday. And last but not least, we have G Fashion. G Fashion is one entity, one business that uses HPay. And we want to, before we part, we will want to show you beautiful G Fashion. Over to you, Flower.
熟悉的字眼，却不知不觉离我越来越遥远。 曾经那个意气风发的少年，为了生存只能拼命挣钱。财富是他们画下的大饼，虚幻背后发现全都是陷阱。各种经济暴雷，房价崩得稀碎，抬起头前路一片漆黑。Welcome to the world.